Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Charles Song, your moderator. I'd like to welcome our audience who are watching our program on Khmer TV at home. This evening, I have the privilege to interview our special guest, Dr. Saro. She's one of a few candidates who is running for the 6th District, City of Long Beach in 2020. The purpose of our interview today is to allow our viewers to get to know who's Dr. Saro, what's her stand on some of the important issues facing the Cambodian community, and what qualification does she have to earn your vote in 2020. I thank you for watching, and let's get started. Debrief Dr. Suli. Dr. Suli ដោយខ្ញុំបានជំរាបទៅដល់បងប្អូនដែលកំពុងតែតាមដានទស្សនានៅកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងក៏ដូចជាកម្មវិធីដទៃទៀតដែរថ្ងៃនេះខ្ញុំខ្លួនខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់សូមអរគុណដល់បណ្ឌិតស៊ូលីដែលបានផ្ដល់នូវកិត្តិយសដោយបានមកធ្វើសម្ភាសន៍បាទដើម្បីឲ្យបងប្អូនយើងបានស្គាល់ថាតើបណ្ឌិតស៊ូលីជានរណាដូច្នេះខ្ញុំសូមការអនុញ្ញាតដល់បណ្ឌិតស៊ូលីសូមមេត្តាជួយណែនាំឲ្យបងប្អូនយើងបានស្គាល់ផងបាទចាអរគុណពូ
invite me to be here today ចាខ្ញុំកូនខ្មែរដែរប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំកើតនៅជ្រុំម៉ៃរ៉ូដហើយខ្ញុំមកសុខអាមេរិកពីអាយុ2ឆ្នាំដើម្បីខ្មែរខ្ញុំវាអសរច្បាស់ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំចេះតែចង់តទៀតចេះនិយាយភាសាយើងណាប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំក៏ជាពិភពពីនេះទៅខ្ញុំចង់និយាយអង់គ្លេសវាដូច
Sure បាទពុកម៉ែមានបងប្អូនជ្រាបស្រាប់ហើយណាបណ្ឌិតស៊ូលីគាត់ណាកើតនៅក្នុងជំរំមួយដែលមានឈ្មោះថាជំរំម៉ៃរ៉ុតហើយឪពុកម្ដាយក៏គាត់មិនក៏បានមកនៅសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកហ្នឹងតាំងពីគាត់មានអាយុ2ឆ្នាំមកម្ល៉េះដូច្នេះយើងបានដឹងហើយថាកូនចៅរបស់គាត់ក៏ដូចជាកូនចៅរបស់ខ្ញុំបាននិយាយអំពីជាភាសាខ្មែររបស់យើងក៏ដូចជាមានការបាត់បង់ច្រើនណាស់ដូច្នេះបន្ទាប់ពីពេលនេះទៅខ្ញុំសូមនឹងនិយាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសហើយខ្ញុំក៏ខិតខំធ្វើយ៉ាងណាដើម្បីបកស្រាយជាភាសាខ្មែរតាំងនាមជាអ្នកសម្រួលដូច្នេះសូមពុកម៉ែមីបងប្អូនជួយទទួលការសម្ដាប់ដោយតទៅ Okay, Dr. Saro, I like to start off by asking you, when is the election and who is running?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Charles, for inviting me here today to be here with you to share a little bit about myself and why I'm running for City Council District 6 in Long Beach. The election is going to be on March 3rd, 2020. It's the same time as the presidential primary election. And there is 6 candidates, and I am running against the incumbent, D. Andrews. And I think that it's troubling to me, though, that he's running for a 4th term when he's voted for others to only run for 3 terms. And I think as a public officials, you should follow the same rules you applied for others for yourself.
Oh, I see. Yes. So let me get this straight. You said there are 6 candidates who's running against the incumbent.
Actually, including myself
and
the incumbent.
Including yourself. Now,
6 in total.
Is there any other Cambodian-American who runs in this election?
Yes, there is. So there is 4 other candidates, including myself and the incumbent. But I'm the first candidate to announce my candidacy for the 6th district.
Now, I want you to really make sure that our audience at home kind of get a better understanding, because what you said is very important, that the incumbent has running, and this would be his 4th term?
Yes, it would be. It would be his 4th term, and he's voted for a measure that would limit his peers, the other city council, as well as the mayor, to only run for 3 terms. So I think he should follow the rule that he voted for others.
Wow.
Yes.
So you have at hand not only that you are working against your other candidates, and here's your challenge, the incumbents. So that is going to be a battle.
Yes, well, I like to think that I'm running to represent the district and the residents, and obviously not so much as running against the other challengers or the incumbent, but Yes.
Okay, so I really want to go back a little bit to the beginning when you make your introduction in Khmer. I understand that when you were here, back then you were only 2 years old.
Yes.
I would want you to walk us briefly into how you've been coming to the U.S. and how you've been leading up to this point.
Yes. So as I shared, my parents survived the genocide like many other Cambodians, and they managed to seek refuge in a refugee camp, and I was born there, and then like many others took the journey into the Philippines before coming to America. We first resettled in San Diego because my uncle arrived here first and sponsored us. But we grew up in a very much survival mode situation, and my parents have worked very hard to make sure that we had what we needed. But I grew up in an environment where we moved around a lot, and we settled in downtown LA, and then later on continuing to move to different parts. But I always made sure that I honored my parents' hard work, that their sacrifice was to ensure that I would pursue a higher education and be able to make sure that I didn't forget what they did in order to get here, which is why I managed to get a bachelor's, master's, and a doctorate degree, and have worked in various community settings in order, that's brought me here to serve the community.
Well, I for one, I have to commend you on what you've been accomplished, because the time, if I remember correctly, when you were pursuing your doctorate degree, you were pregnant.
Yes, I was pregnant.
So, I mean, anybody that really have a desire to pursue a higher education, I always admire folks like that. So let's get back to our conversation here. So I'd like you to tell us about the 6th district, the district that you are running to represent, and what you hope to accomplish.
Well, the 6th district is an amazing district with so many diversity, and there's a lot of beauty in the district that I feel has just not been lifted up, and I think it's because we've not had the best advocate and the best or an effective representative, and that is why I'm running, is that I want to make sure that I speak to residents on their issues and concern and make sure that we work in a direction in addressing them and solving the problems that exist in the district. And there are a variety of issues that I think needs to be addressed immediately, and that's neighborhood safety issue, making sure our youth are safe and that they have a supportive environment to grow and thrive, and pursue higher education if they want it, but to have employment that they feel is going to be a good job, right? And to make sure that we have also thriving businesses in the district. We have business corridors that are struggling right now, and I think that it's really important to work with business owners based on where they're at and make sure we're communicating in a language that they understand so that they're receiving the proper support that they need in order to grow their business. And I think that other issues I want to address are homelessness issue. I think we need to address the root cause. I think we need to make sure there's available housing for people that are affordable, that allows them to live in a healthy and safe environment. And I think that we need to make sure we have programming that are also available for seniors in our district, diverse seniors, and that they're taken care of and happy and thriving as well.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we don't see as many as Cambodian-Americans involved in local politics here in the U.S. Why do you think you decide politics was important?
Well, as I share with you, when my family came here as refugees, they survived the genocide, and that we came to a new country and we didn't know what to do. And I learned at an early age that it was important to be an advocate, not only for myself, but for my family and my other family members, because I had a skill of learning how to speak English. I knew how to speak English even at a young age. And I knew that my voice was powerful. And I know that the Cambodian community doesn't always are comfortable or trusting of government or have a lot of faith in it. But I knew that from my love of my community and wanting to give back and honoring what they've gone through is to be able to serve the community. That was a way for me to figure out how I provide, in some way seek justice for the community, is to be able to uplift the issues and be able to have our issues addressed. And that's why I'm running, is that I think that we need a voice, and I like to be a voice for those who feel that they don't have it, and that's representative of a community that's really forgotten, not just the Cambodian, but the whole district itself.
Well, I want to since you bring that up, because you are running for the 6th district that within the 6th district, not only the Cambodian, but there's a vast majority of the minority and of all people from all walks of life here that we're talking about here. So how you what plan that you have that you can represent for everybody?
Well, I'd like to continue sharing more about my background. Not only have I gotten my doctorate, but I've worked as a labor organizer, a community organizer. I ran a nonprofit working with young people as well as doing health advocacy work. And within that work, I've learned to work with a diverse community. And I've learned that what's really important is that you speak to people, you listen to people respectfully, and that you make sure that you follow through with what you say you're going to do. And I think that that applies to all community, including the Cambodian, Latinos, African-American, is we need to hear what people are thinking and feeling and invalidate that's great that you're sharing that, and we can do something about it. And I think that you will find that there are common themes across all communities, and if we can just come together, and if we had a leader, which I'm hoping to be that leader, is to bring the community together to be able to bridge the areas that we feel pretty much like what we feel we're prideful of, but also what we want different, how we want change, and we need to do it together. We can't do it in isolation because we're all dealing with the same issues.
Sure. Now, as an older generation, as you know, your parents, when they came from Cambodia, and I came from Cambodia, probably same time that they came. What you said in your statement is very important, that because of you came here at a young age, that what drives you to want to be involved in all of that. Now, at home right now, I don't know how many young audience are watching us, but I'm pretty sure that somewhere out there, they really want to notice that. So what message can you bring to these young audience? What can you bring it to them?
Well, I think that it's important that they know that anything is possible when in what they want to pursue, that just because you haven't seen a person that's not been in that role. I have not seen another Cambodian woman in an elected official role in the city or in the state, and that you could be the first, but make sure you're not the last, that we need to make sure we lift up the next generation, that we're the trailblazer and it's okay, and that given the history of what our community gone through, there isn't anything we should be afraid to do because our community have gone through just the most challenging and tragic time. That's for me has been an inspiration that I need to make sure that I honor our community by making sure I am successful because many did not have that opportunity.
Yeah, so running for anything will take a lot of effort.
Yes.
A lot of hard work.
It is.
A lot of dedication and all of
Yes.
that. So I don't really know how you are able to do this. So can you tell us about your campaign and your plan to win this election, knowing that you have an uphill battle?
Well, I have to first just thank and I'm so grateful of my husband and my children and my family who's been so supportive. And I don't think that I would be able to even be here without their support. So I have to thank them because they're as much part of this journey as I am. And that my plans for the campaign as far as reaching out to voters is that I'm going to be making sure that I talk to voters by knocking on their doors and making sure that I call them, but I'm hoping also within the Cambodian community through word of mouth that given the work I've done in the community as a former staff member with Senator Ricardo Lara, as the executive director of Khmer Girls in Action, that they'll talk about me and that they'll spread the word that I'm the most qualified candidate and that they should vote for me as well.
Okay.
And I'll also be sending mailers as well to their home, so they'll also be getting information about me in their mailbox too.
Right. So that in the community, in our community, many of who are involved in community work, those are folks who really know who you are. But then there's a vast majority who pretty much really have no idea of who is Dr. Suli Saro. So in this regard, I like to really think of it as you're probably going to need in some way, in part, the support from our community leaders and all of that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What message can you, or any, I shouldn't say a message, but what kind of request that you can convey to our senior, perhaps our senior active member in the community who would want to help your campaign?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that they know that I stand on their shoulders, that I wouldn't be able to build this pathway without what they've done to build a community in Long Beach and to make sure that our community is where it's at and that I'm building on it, and I want to honor that, and that I have the experience, the passion, and that I want to make sure that we lift up all members of our community and work together, and that I would be honored to have their support so that I can be the first Cambodian woman city council member of Long Beach.
As you're running, what is exactly the issue that you are focusing on, and what are the most important issues that are facing the Cambodian community as we speak?
Well, the very first issue that certainly comes to my mind is making sure that we create jobs, that we provide employment opportunities for our youth as well as other members of our residents. And poverty is an issue in the district because we have the highest unemployment rate in the in the city, and we have the lowest life expectancy in the city. So this is affecting Cambodians, it's affecting other members of the community, the African-American, Latinos, and I want to make sure that we are working in partnerships with unions and businesses so that we are creating programs and trainings so that we build a pathway for people not just getting any job, but that they're good paying job, and that should they want to continue their education so that they could get even better paying jobs, we need to make sure we're working with everybody to do that. And safety is an important issue, as I mentioned to you. And ensuring that we have proper infrastructure, such as making sure that our streets are clean, that our roads are not broken, and making sure that our streets are well lit, and making sure that streets are safe to walk. Those are very important priority because it's making sure our whole neighborhood is not only safe, but people feel comfortable and proud of where they live. And there's a few other things that I certainly also want to make sure I lift up, as I shared earlier, is homelessness is a really important issue. I don't think that we need to be reactive. We have to be proactive and make sure that we do provide the employment that people need so that they can afford places to live right now, afford a home, and as well as ensuring that they have a good quality of life. So those are several of the top issues that I'm currently working on and that I care about. There are many others, but those are some of the highlights.
Now, one of the top issues that you mentioned is very important, safety issue in the neighborhood. Speaking of safety, you and I understand that when we talk about safety, the gap between our community and the police department is another issue. And oftentimes it's a reflect our way of life. That in most cases, because of the background of where we came from, we tend to kind of afraid and all of that. So let's just say, should you win the election, what kind of a message or work that you can really kind of bring that relationship closer between the community and the police department?
Well, it goes back to your earlier question about how do you bridge between different community. The police is also another entity. There are different communities or different stakeholders that we need to bridge communication with, and the police is no different. And I think that what's important is having dialogue. And I think that we haven't had enough opportunities to build relationships in different parts of the city with the police department. As the former chair of the Citizen Police Complaint Commission, I know that the residents do have a voice and they have an opinion, and I think we just need an opportunity for residents to share that in an environment where it's comfortable for both entity, residents, and as well as the police department, and think about clear actions we can take to demonstrate that it's not just discussion, but that we have clear action steps to take to bridging that partnership in the community with the police.
Speaking of bridging, it's very important to
Yeah.
note that you have mentioned plenty that to win the election is not just focusing on the Cambodians, but other ethnic group as well,
Yes.
because you have the vast majority. I would probably think of the Latinos, the African-American, and the Caucasian community. So you, how are you going to bridge together? I mean, in terms of building a relationship,
Yes.
so that we can work together.
Well, I think that we need to make sure that we have opportunities to have celebrations together. We often, and I think that we should have celebration to honor the various communities, cultural celebration as well as holidays. But I think that there needs to be sure that we also attend other events so that we can all learn from and celebrate each other's culture as a way in where we share our commonality for our love of our heritage, as well as making sure then we have organize events that bring us together, talking about issues. And that's part of my plan when I am in office, when I win the election, is I'm going to hit the ground running and making sure that we do have conversations and transition teams that are going to have dialogues and getting opinion and working with residents and community leader. What do you think we should do to make sure that we address specific issues so that they're not just coming from me, because I certainly can't solve everything on my own. I'm going to make sure that involves leaders and community in the district, because in the end of the day, I think that they're the expert, because they're going to have to live day in and day out. I'm a resident too, but that I want to make sure I facilitate these opportunities to problem solve together.
Well, winning the entire election, it probably sounds much easier than the way that we're going to do it. You mentioned that the election is a distant away. So
6 months away, it's not too far away.
It's not too far away.
No, it's not too far away.
So where exactly your campaign's at this moment?
Yes. Well, where I'm excited to share is that I've raised the most money, even more than the incumbent himself. And I've had already some recent important endorsement from Long Beach School Board member Megan Kerr, as well as endorsements from SEIU 2015 that represents long-term care workers, as well as making sure that I also get community leaders endorsement. You have endorsed me as well, which is very important. And I also have a plan in where I'm already speaking to voters right now. I'm knocking on doors and recruiting volunteers and making sure that we have a field plan that's not starting next year, but it's starting right now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But for me personally, I'm very
Yes.
proud that I have an opportunity to endorse you.
Thank
And
you.
basically endorsing you, I see it as a way that you bring your qualification, you bring your expertise, you also bring I would say, the experience that you have into the table. And I think personally that you can win.
Thank you.
That's why I support you.
Thank
That's
you.
why I support you. But that's not the reason that we're here today.
Yeah.
That's not the reason that we're here today. We're here today, we just want our folks at home to really get to know you are as a person, and you are as a candidate. You are as a candidate. Now, you mentioned something about your fundraising. The money, the amount of money that you've been raising and all of that. I'm pretty sure that folks at home really want to see, they are excited to really want to get involved, really want to help you. Now, explain to us what is the exact amount or what it is. Go ahead and tell us, because when we talk about the contribution and all that for us as a Cambodian, we don't have a clue.
Sure, I'm happy to share. As I shared earlier, I've raised the most. I raised $43,295, and my initial goal was $40,000. So
Congratulations.
And thanks to you and many others for helping me reach that goal. My goal is to raise another $40,000. I'm hoping I would have exceeded, but at the same time, and so and a lot of the money is used to most of it is to reach voters because, as you shared earlier, there are many voters that know me, but there are many that don't. So the only way that they'll know me is that I have to mail them flyers about me, and I also need to make sure that I have resources for volunteers to knock on doors to help me, and also make phone calls. So that's where all the funding is going. And that's how you win as a candidate.
You are running at the moment. Now, should you win again, how do you plan to get the critical issue that the community is concerned, all of this addressed by the city?
Well, I think that it goes back to that I've already been doing the work, and as far as my work that I've done with Khmer Girls in Action when I was the executive director, in raising issues around language access and in regards to making sure that young people were well and are healthy and receiving the resources they need. So I've been doing this advocacy work and raising issues to the city for many years now, and it's been in different roles, as when I was also working for Advancing Justice LA as a health advocate, making sure that we get information out to the community, and most recently when I was a field representative with Senator Lara. So I've been working on a lot of these critical issues, especially making sure that we acknowledge the Cambodian genocide. We were able to have the state of California acknowledge it for the first time when I worked with Senator Lara to have it introduced 5 years ago. So these are issues that I want to build on and that I can continue to create greater impact in. And as I mentioned, those are the various issues earlier around addressing homelessness, making sure our neighborhood are safe and clean, that we provide a safe environment for young people, and ensuring that we increase jobs, that we lower the unemployment rate, and that we support and grow businesses as well.
Well, speaking of the Honorable Ricardo Lara, I for one, and as well as many as community members, really do appreciate his effort in bringing about the genocide remembrance to our community. And although he's moving forward, moving on, we really, really do appreciate, and we liked him. We liked him.
Thank
now,
you. It's an honor to work for him.
Speaking about endorsement, now, I don't know, I would want to get into that, but I'm probably going to go into that anyway now. Up leading to this point, how many endorsements are you picking up from the elected official outside the area or inside the area? Can you kind of walk us through?
Sure. Well, I shared earlier that I've been endorsed by former Senator Ricardo Lara, as well as Long Beach School Board member Megan Kerr. I'll have an announcement coming around for another endorsement, and as well as not just from elected officials, but other organizations as well that are really influential in shaping our community. And so that's another way, that another part of my campaign is demonstrating that many others also think that I'm the best and most qualified candidate, is through their endorsement and their support of my campaign.
Well, endorsement really do tell of the candidate you are. And not only just that, but it tells, because nobody can just throw themselves in and say, I endorse you. It really tells about the character of an individual, because I, for one, I really want, before I kind of throw myself in or endorse somebody, I really have to look, not just maybe a long time, think hard and doing that. So with that regard, I really commend you on the work hard on getting done. And I hope that so many more probably can come to endorse you.
Yes, you'll find out soon.
Yes. So now, speaking about running for the seat in this city. Now, I want to reflect back a little bit. Way back at one point, there's a lady ran. Yes. There are own Cambodian-American lady by the name of, I think, Sandy Blankenship.
Yes.
Yeah, he ran for one.
Yes.
So my question to you is, what would it mean to be the first Cambodian-American to serve on the Long Beach City Council should you win the election?
Well, as you know, it would be an honor to represent the community, and I mean that in that it honors the all of the pathway that was built for me to be able to run right now. So I think it also demonstrates in our community that while we have come a long way, we still are able to excel and pursue things that we think is important in our community, and that it would be an honor to make sure I continue to fulfill the hopes and the dreams that not only my parents have, but many of the others have, to make sure that our community thrives and that we also are thriving with the other community, not just with the Cambodian community as well. Is that we're working in unity with the African American, the Latino, and that we're very much not just a separate Cambodian community, but very much just part of the Long Beach community, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier about the kickstart of the campaign that you plan on the immediate campaign, knocking on doors and all that. Is there any immediate plan that you plan on doing this?
Well, as I shared with you, I've already started talking to voters, and I have been having several events to meet with people as well as voters, and I'm going to be making sure that people hear from me very shortly. I'm going to get to your door if you live in the 6th District. I haven't gotten there yet. But I'm already started, and then we're gonna also have volunteers hitting the doors next month as well with me. And so we're not waiting until next year, we're starting now.
Okay, yes. So as far as now, you don't really have any specific dates for the people to really kind of expect you and all of that?
Well, right now they can, as far as, I just can't get to every door right away, but we will definitely be having the community, the volunteers together with I in early October.
Well, folks, you heard it from
early October.
From the candidate, Dr. Saro, is going to visit your home soon.
Yes.
So she's going to be walking with the volunteers and knocking on doors with her children. So you're going to have an opportunity. You're going to have an opportunity to see her and to talk to her firsthand. Please make sure you open the door and welcome one of our own candidates that will come to you soon. So now, in what way do you think the election can impact the Cambodian community throughout, not just here in Long Beach, but throughout the United States?
Well, I think that I think it will be a place where I hope many more will get activated and get inspired to get involved more locally in elections, and then eventually more into the city activity, and that they feel comfortable speaking their mind and their voice and opinion on issues impacting them. The everyday issue, nothing is too small. If it impacts you and it's something that's bothering you, you need to speak up, and I feel that that's what my election will allow people to do, is feel like that they are part of the community, they part of the city, and that they can speak up, and that their voice and issues should be addressed, and that they deserve better, and they can have better if they keep advocating for it.
So if you're going to have, because everybody, when they're running for an office, they have their own platform.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly what are your platform?
Yes, so I've shared that several times. The issues I'm working on are my platform, which is around safety, neighborhood safety, keeping our kids safe, as well as our seniors as well, making sure that the neighborhood is clean and that we eliminate blight meaning just things that are run down and old, or making sure our neighborhood are clean, right? And also making sure we address the root cause of homelessness, and by addressing it is making sure that we address the issue of unemployment, as well as making sure that we create jobs and that we get people on pathways to jobs, as well as growing and revitalizing our local economy, supporting our business and improving our business corridors, making sure they have resources and that it's a thriving environment, right, for businesses to do business in, as well as making sure that they're supported by the city. And I want to be the advocate on these issues. I'm certainly not limited to these issues, but those are definitely the ones that I'm focused on right now, that I'm sharing as my platform.
So what do you stand on the immersion, the language immersion?
Language immersion. Yeah. Well, I think that language immersion is really important, and I think that I hope that it would be available to students to all students who want to have it, and to families who want to make sure their students have it. And and then that's where I'm endorsed by the Long Beach School Board member is that's something that I would certainly support and partner with school board on if it makes sense for me as a council member to helping support that effort by the school board members.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Now, I haven't heard you say anything about the environment.
Oh yes.
Any comment on the environment?
Well, as I share with you, my job is relating to the environment in terms of making sure that we have green spaces and that we build parks. So that definitely is really important. And the environment that is most immediately of concerning to me is the safety, but also making sure it's clean, right? I've shared that. And so that's definitely part of it. I didn't kind of frame it as the environment, but and making sure that our neighborhood streets are safe to walk on, that we have the proper infrastructure set up so that people feel safe to walk, that they are comfortable walking without fear of being hit by a car. So those are really relating to environment.
Well, regarding to safety, there's always been, we can talk a whole lot about the
Yes.
safety issue because there's always some concern in the community. I can give you one. I can give you one.
Yes.
We've been asking for just simple stop signs at one location,
Yes.
and for years. It never been done. It never been done, and this is part of. It's not just the concern from our Cambodian community,
Yes.
but concern from various community in the district as well.
Absolutely, and that's why we need a strong and an effective representative that makes sure we get things done.
Well, I
And-
sure hope.
Yeah.
I sure hope that you can bring that to the table.
Yes, and I believe I will be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if a viewer want to learn more about your campaign and they want to get involved,
Yeah.
how can they do that?
Well, I think that a lot of people are on social media these days, so you can certainly follow me on Facebook as well as Instagram, and my handle is at Saro LB. Or you could go to my website at www.sulisaro.com. So Suli is spelled Suely, and Saro is Saro.
Okay, it'll be on the
Yes.
screen. It'll be on the screen.
Wonderful. And then you can go there. You can sign up to volunteer or donate. Everything is on my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, I've been going out and I've been support everyone else to win the election.
Yes.
As far as I know. So there's a certain way that we can do to help, and this way I like to share with our audience from my experience. There are at least 3 ways that we can do to help
Yes.
you to win. One of which is the money. Of course, money is very important. So money is very important. So contribute what you can,
Yes.
donate what you can, because only money can really prepare any candidate for as simple as making flyers to get the information out to folks who are at home. Now, secondly, volunteers. Volunteer is a
Yes.
major force.
So critical.
Yeah, it's a very critical piece in any election. So we need all the volunteers. So we need all the volunteers, and I hope that our young viewer, our college students, will get involved. In this election. Lastly, the most important piece that any candidate must need, and that is the vote.
Yes, absolutely.
So the most critical piece. You can have the other 2, but nobody out there to vote, and you absolutely can't win. So really, we need to encourage our folks to really go out there and vote. And I also do encourage our brothers and sisters who are in the community, in the CBO, the community-based organization, really kind of look into galvanize people, not to get in politics, I would say, but to really kind of teach them in
Voter education.
voter
yeah,
education,
and
registration, and all of those things.
Yeah, and mobilizing people to vote.
Mobilize the people to vote.
CBOs
yes.
can do that
Right,
and
right.
still stay within their compliance.
Right. So that is very important.
Yes.
It's very important. Now we come to about to a close. Lastly, I like to want to hear from you specifically. If you could look in the camera straight, what you have to say to the people?
Well, I definitely want to say thank you so much for taking the time to learn about me and my campaign and what I'm passionate about. And I would really appreciate the support that Boo Charles has just shared in any form you can, whether it's to donate, to volunteer, and as well if you live in the 6th District or know anyone that lives in the 6th District to vote for me. And I would love to have conversation with each and every one of you who wonders, who is still wondering why, if you want to learn more about me. I'm happy to have a conversation, and if you want to schedule a time for a group of people to have coffee with me, I'm happy to do that as well. So thank you so much in advance for your support.
Okay, so I have a little message there to our audience as well, but I'm going to speak in Khmer.
Okay.
I'm going to speak in Khmer, and then I'm going to alternate into the English. ពុកម៉ែមានមីបងប្អូនជាទីគោរពរាប់អានដោយពុកម៉ែមានមីបងប្អូនបានឮហើយជ្រាបហើយបេក្ខជនស៊ូលីគេជាបេក្ខជនម្នាក់ដែលអាចមានគុណសម្បត្តិនិងមានសមត្ថភាពគ្រប់គ្រាន់នៅក្នុងការប្រជែងយកមុខតំណែងជាក្រុមប្រឹក្សាហៅថាចៅសង្កាត់ក៏ថាបាននៅក្នុងតំបន់ឬក៏សង្កាត់លេខ6ដែលនៅក្នុងសង្កាត់នោះមានបងប្អូនប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរយើងច្រើនដែលរស់នៅក្នុងសង្កាត់នោះដែរហើយនៅក្នុងការប្រឈមមុខឈរឈ្មោះជាអ្នកបោះឆ្នោតនេះគឺថាមិនមែនជាការងាយស្រួលប្រហែលទេដោយបងប្អូនបានជ្រាបហើយនៅក្នុងការប្រជែងហ្នឹងគឺថាមានគ្នាដល់ទៅ6នាក់រួមនឹងអ្នកដែលគេហៅថាចៅសង្កាត់ដែលកំពុងតែនៅអង្គុយកៅអីនឹងទៀតដូច្នេះគឺថាការប្រឈមមុខនៅក្នុងពេលនេះគឺមានការលំបាកខ្លាំងណាស់ហើយនៅក្នុងការប្រឈមមុខពេលនេះគឺថាដាច់ខាតគឺត្រូវការជំនួយការជួយពីបងប្អូនត្រូវការជួយជំនួយការពីបងប្អូនដូចជាខ្ញុំបានជ្រាបហើយខ្ញុំជម្រាបជូនអញ្ចឹងថាបើសិនណាយើងមិនមានតែការរួបរวมគ្នាគឺការជួយគ្នានៅក្នុងការដែលជួយនោះដូចខ្ញុំបានជំរាបអញ្ចឹងគាត់ថាលុយកាក់ជាចម្បងខ្ញុំក៏ដឹងដែរថាលុយកាក់នៅក្នុងបច្ចុប្បន្ននេះគឺថាមានការពិបាកណាស់នៅក្នុងការរកក៏ប៉ុន្តែយើងត្រូវចងចាំថាជិត40ឆ្នាំមកហើយបងប្អូនជិត40ឆ្នាំមកហើយដែលយើងបានមករស់នៅបាទសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកជាពិសេសគឺទីក្រុង Long Beach យើងអត់ដែលទាន់មានបាទប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរអាមេរិកាំងឬក៏ជនជាតិខ្មែរយើងកូនចៅយើងណាម្នាក់ដែលមានមុខតំណែងអ្វីមួយដើម្បីជាតំណាងទៅដល់សហគមន៍របស់យើងទេដូច្នេះឆ្នាំ2020ខាងមុខនេះគឺជាឱកាសតែមួយគត់បាទដែលបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាយើងអាចបង្រួមគ្នាដើម្បីជួយជំរុញធ្វើយ៉ាងម៉េចឲ្យមានបេក្ខជនខ្មែរមានកូនខ្មែរដែលនឹងជាប់បានទទួលនៅក្នុងងារជាក្រុមប្រឹក្សាក្រុង Long Beach ក្នុងតំបន់លេខ6ដូច្នេះពាក្យបណ្ដាំរបស់ខ្ញុំសូមផ្ញើទៅជូនទៅដល់បងប្អូនគ្រប់គ្នាសូមមេត្តាជួយគាំទ្រទៅតាមលក្ខណៈអ្វីដែលបងប្អូនអាចជួយគាំទ្របាន Ladies and gentlemen, again I like to thank you for spending your time watching our program today, and it is a great honor for me personally as well as Dr. Saro for being here. We're here because Dr. Suli Saro is running for a candidate. And running for a candidate need a lot more than just talk to win. As you know, there are 6 candidates total who are running for the 6th district for this upcoming election in 2020. And to win an election, we must need every effort in the community. And every effort in the community, knowing that I know that many of you probably think that but she's not speaking Khmer and all that. But I can tell you, my daughter didn't speak Khmer as well. But that doesn't mean that we can't support our own. We must be able to come together in such a way that promote what is right for all of us, and that is to put the Cambodian in the seat of the council district in the 6th district, because that's all that we've been dreaming. That's all we've been dreaming. As part of the elder generation, we always dream about making pathway for our young generation, and now is the time.
Yes.
It is time to prove that we can do this. So I like to invite you to really kind of look into this campaign and do what you can. Do what you can to help out. Without your help, and you can take my word for it. Dr. Suli Saro can't win. With your help, she will be winning this election. So I reach out to you. I reach out to you, to our fellow brother and sister who are at my age, who are older than me, and who are at the young age, who are watching. I want you spreading the word, and I want you to really kind of keep that momentum going. And until such time, we're going to come back again as we moving forward to bring you what is important and what not. Until then, I want to take this moment to thank you all for watching, and thank you again, Dr. Suli Saro, for allowing us the opportunity today. សូមអរគុណដល់ទូរទស្សនិកជនទាំងអស់ដែលបានតាមដានទស្សនានៅកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងក្នុងថ្ងៃនេះបាទសូមអរគុណជម្រាបលា